Hello, this is our first tutorial for how to use Microsoft Publisher. Today we're going to be discussing the layout and the reasons for why I have the layout the way it is, and we're also going to be talking about how to insert images from the web and also how to insert images from our own computer. All right, so the first thing that we have to do is make sure that we have a theme for these pages so that it can make sense to the person who's looking at them. And they're very customizable. We can change the sizes of these boxes, the amount of boxes on a page. Each box will have an image, and then we'll also have some kind of descriptive text. For example, this one, if this page is about pets, then I could say Rosie, maybe my first pet was Rosie, and then I would insert a picture here of a bird or that specific pet bird, and then below here I would have some related images for my pet bird. So let's pretend we're going to be making a page about pets because the person I'm communicating with really had a lot of pets and really loved talking about them, and it's really important to them. So I've already typed out the name Rosie because Rosie was their most recent pet, or maybe is their current pet. And so first we're going to be looking at how to get an image from my computer into this. Go to Pictures right here on the home screen. It's also on the insert screen, but we'll do it from home. And we're going to press Browse from a file. And I can tell it's on my computer, from a file on my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And it was nice enough to automatically come up with my pictures. So I'm going to find my picture of Rosie that I wanted. Here she is. And then I'm going to select it. I know it's selected because it has blue around it. And I'm going to press Insert. Great. Now it doesn't insert it right into our box, but I'm going to show you how to get around that. So what we're going to be doing is putting it as closely over our box as we can. Now you notice it's in front of everything. These are kind of like pictures. So everything on here is like a picture. Even these boxes are technically pictures. So what we're going to be doing is layering them up. So whatever you most recently put on is the thing that's going to go on top. Now there's a way to layer things so that it doesn't look like that and to change the order of the pictures, but we're not going to go into it for this tutorial. All right, so we notice we have our picture, but it's way too big. I don't want to change the size too much to fit my square because then the image will start to warp. Now, as you can see here, when I change the size with the corner, the image pretty much maintains its quality. But if I had a smaller image here and I wanted to make it fit this box and I were to stretch it, and stretch it, our image has become very warped, and we don't want that to happen. So we're going to start with our image. We're going to place it over our box the way it was, the best we can. I like to make it a little bit bigger than the spot it's going to be on. All right, great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off or trim the edges that we don't want. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to click on our picture here, and you might have noticed that this Picture Tools tab has opened up. I'm going to show you that again. I want you to keep your eye on here. Click on the side. When a photo or a picture is not selected, that tab does not exist. But when I select my image, it has existed. So I'm going to go ahead over to Format, And I can see all these different things that I can do to play with my image. And you can totally experiment around with these another day if you want to have a great time. But for now, we're just going to be changing the size without changing the quality of their image. So essentially, we're going to be cropping it. We're going to be cutting off the sides we don't want. So I'm going to press crop. I know it's selected because it's gray, and I also know it's selected because I see these black border images around my picture. So really quickly, I want you to just hover your mouse, your little icon, over those little black lines, because then you can see that your selection icon is changing. It's showing you what it's selecting, and it's showing you that you have the picture. And it's important because you don't want to select something that you don't want. So it's good to have that over it. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is essentially dragging it so that the leftover is going to be taken off. So I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to get this bottom one here, and I'm going to push up my image, and you'll notice the image size isn't changing. The bird is still the same size. All I'm doing is I'm cropping out how much I want and don't want. So I'm going to find my little spot there. Good. Go to the side. Find my little spot. Good. Here. Find my spot. And it'll show me the leftover here. And that'll go away once I'm not selecting my picture anymore. Okay, goes to my line that I wanted. All right, so now I can see these faded areas. The reason I can still see those is because the picture is still selected. As soon as I press on this gray section over here, those are going to disappear. But that doesn't mean I can't uncrop what I uncropped before. So let's say I went off here and I noticed, oh my goodness, I have this extra spot down there, and I also have maybe too much over here. I want to change it. So all I have to do is select my image again, and then I'm going to go to my picture tools, my format. These are all my tools I can use to change my picture. I'm going to go to crop, and I'm just going to change the size here a little bit so that it meets it right how I want it. A bit too much. There you go. I think that's good enough for me. Edge here. I might actually even move it over. All right, great. So what we got here is a picture of Rosie, my communication partner's current bird. Let's say it's their current bird. Now below here, I want to put images and words related to Rosie. So let's say our communication partner is still really involved in feeding them. So we could put bird seed. We could write step up. It's a common command for birds. We could write open, like open the cage. And we could also write clean, or actually let's change that. Let's say free fly. Some people have bird rooms. Let's say this person has a bird room. We could write free fly. Okay, then I could find images that match this. Now the best would be if it was a picture in my actual home of the bird seed I use, or me asking, a picture of my client's hand with the bird stepping up, a picture of my client's hand opening the cage, a picture of the bird itself free flying. But in case we don't have access to those, we can find images, approximate images on the internet. All right, so let's go ahead and learn how to do that. Now there's one way where I could go into the browser directly and into a separate browser like Chrome or something like that and type in the word that I want and then just copy that picture and paste it into my document. That's totally a way to do it. If you don't like switching between programs though, I'm going to show you a way so that you don't have to switch between them. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Pictures, and I have Bing Image Search, which normally I don't usually choose to use Bing. I usually use Chrome, but it works really, really well with this program. Into Pictures, okay, let me type in birdseed, and I found my birdseed here. Insert. Great, so I have my image. I'm going to put it on top, try to get as close as I can to the actual how large I want it. So for example, if I wanted it really zoomed in, if I really love how big these seeds are here, I can make the image huge so that it's nice and big, and then I can crop it down to the size that I want. So I can change the size of the photo and also how zoomed in it is. So if you make the photo really large, then it'll appear bigger. There we go. Now I'm going to show you how to move that image around in that selected space. So I've selected the image. I can tell because it has these little circles around it. All I did was do a little click. And if I wanted to go back to cropping, I can. I'm back in cropping because I clicked the little crop sides. And now I'm just going to click the image in general. And I know I'm about to click it because I see this 4-arrow selection tool. And then I can click and drag, and I can choose different sections of the picture that I want it to focus on. So let's say I want this stick in here. Maybe the bird food I buy has a lot of sticks. So I can put that there. And then I just go to the side and voila. I don't have to see the rest of the image, but it's nice and zoomed up. I can do the same thing with the aviary. Say, I go, oh wow, I really liked how this was zoomed up. I'd like to also zoom up on my aviary. Well, I can do that too. Select it, go to Format, Crop. I can select the image, drag out the size of the image, get it really close. Here's a person going into the aviary. I want a little bit smaller. Kind of like that. Okay, and that's good. I already have what I wanted it cropped to. That hasn't changed. Go to the side, and there we go. So those are the basics about how to insert images from my computer and also from the web. So go ahead and experiment around, see how you like it, and our next tutorial will be about changing the text.